We often treat the integration of artificial intelligence into our daily lives as a binary choice. On one side, there is the promise of full autonomy where machines take over every decision. On the other side, there is the resistance to adopt any tool that might replace human judgment. This is the false dichotomy that keeps us stuck. We are standing on a knife edge where the fall is not just technical failure but a loss of agency. The third way lies in a human-in-the-loop orchestration architecture. This approach does not ask us to choose between total control and total reliance. Instead, it asks us to distribute responsibility based on what each party does best. Here is the thing about current artificial intelligence systems. They are often sold as a Swiss Army knife, a universal tool capable of handling any task you throw at it. But this perception ignores the reality of how these models are trained. The data behind them is opaque, and the trade-offs around their use are significant. If you treat an artificial intelligence system as a perfect oracle, you will eventually face a moment where the system hallucinates or fails in a way that is not recoverable. This is the risk of the knife edge. When an algorithm makes a probabilistic decision, it is calculating likelihoods, not certainties. In a kitchen, for example, a computer vision system might use a model like "you only look once" to detect a blade near a hand. It is fast, it is on the edge of the device, and it can process the video feed without sending private data to the cloud. But the system itself cannot know the intent of the person holding the knife. It only sees the geometry of the situation. Now consider the alternative. If we keep everything manual, we rely entirely on human vigilance. Humans are slow to react to high-speed hazards. We get tired. We get distracted. We are not designed to process thousands of frames per second to ensure safety. Relying solely on human judgment in a high-speed automated environment is equally dangerous. We need a system where the artificial intelligence handles the probabilistic edges. This means the machine watches the stream, identifies the pattern of danger, and prepares a response. But the human governs the deterministic failure states. This means the human defines the boundaries of safety, the rules of engagement, and the final authority when the system encounters a situation it cannot resolve. This brings us to the concept of agentic AI. Researchers are moving beyond simple simulation toward systems that can explore intelligent spaces autonomously. This is not about creating a replacement for human cognition. It is about enabling edge intelligence where decisions happen on the device itself. Think of an Internet of Things sensor in a factory or a safety monitor in a home. When the artificial intelligence agent detects a deviation from the norm, it does not just flag it, it orchestrates a response. It might slow down a machine, lock a door, or alert a human operator. But the human remains the ultimate arbiter of the system's purpose. There is a critical distinction between the probabilistic and the deterministic. The probabilistic is the realm of the machine. It handles the noise, the variability, and the speed. The deterministic is the realm of the human. It handles the rules, the ethics, and the consequences. When we build systems without this distinction, we risk automation bias. We trust the machine even when it is wrong because it looks confident. This is why the third way requires a specific architectural design. We cannot just plug an artificial intelligence model into a workflow and hope for the best. We must design for the failure state. We must assume the machine will eventually encounter a scenario it was not trained for. In the research regarding kitchen safety, specific models were optimized to detect physical hazards like blade contact. This is a practical application of the third way. The model detects the proximity of the blade to the hand. It is the edge intelligence doing the heavy lifting of pattern recognition. But the human is the one who decides the pace of the cooking, the quality of the cut, and the safety protocols of the environment. The system augments the human rather than replacing them. This is the core of the strategy. We are not looking for a world where machines decide for us. We are looking for a world where machines handle the speed and the scale, while humans handle the responsibility and the context. This shift has profound implications for how we view workforce displacement. The narrative often suggests that automation leads to job loss. But if we orchestrate the work correctly, automation leads to job transformation. The role of the operator changes from a manual executor to a system manager. They no longer watch the blade. They watch the system that watches the blade. This requires new skills. It requires understanding the limits of the artificial intelligence, knowing when to intervene, and knowing how to trust the system without surrendering judgment. It is a balance of power. If the machine is too powerful, it overrides human safety. If the human is too powerful, the system becomes a bottleneck. We must also consider the ethical dimension. There is a tension between the transformative potential of artificial intelligence and the significant risks involved. As we move toward agentic AI and agentification, we are essentially allowing systems to explore intelligence spaces that were previously closed off. This is exciting, but it requires guardrails. We need to ensure that these systems are transparent. We need to know why a decision was made. We need to know who is accountable when things go wrong. The third way is not just a technical solution. It is a socio-technical mechanism for ensuring equitable access and maintaining human agency. So, what does this look like in practice? It looks like a system where the artificial intelligence handles the real-time processing of data. It processes the stream of information from sensors and cameras. It identifies the edge cases where things might go wrong. It prepares the response. But the human defines the parameters of that response. The human sets the thresholds. The human approves the actions that involve safety or significant cost. This creates a loop of trust. The machine proves its reliability over time, and the human grants it more autonomy. But the human always retains the ability to cut the power. This is the path forward. We move beyond the debate of build versus buy or full autonomy versus manual control. We embrace a hybrid architecture where the strengths of each are leveraged. We use edge devices to process data locally for privacy and speed. We use agentic systems to explore and optimize within safe boundaries. We use human oversight to govern the deterministic outcomes. This is how we navigate the knife edge. We do not walk blindly. We walk with a safety line, knowing that the machine is there to catch us if we slip, but we are still the ones walking. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. I am a one-person team working hard to make each video better than the last. Subscribe if you found value. It is the best way to show support. Drop a comment with your biggest takeaway. See you in the next video.